Hey everyone, and welcome to 1% Richer. I'm Brent.
And I'm Dom.
So, today is the first episode of our new podcast, but I thought we should start off by talking about why we created this thing at all. The reason 1% Richer is called 1% Richer is we're going to talk about how we're learning to become 1% richer and hopefully help you guys along the way. So, there's several things that we're going to be doing on this podcast and on this channel. We're going to be obviously talking about our experience. We're going to be talking with some people out there. They're talking about things that they've done, their regular jobs, their side hustles, things that they plan to do in the future. What else are we planning to do, Dom?
Yeah, I think you pretty much summed it up. I mean, the 1% Reacher idea is kind of, you've heard it everywhere else, right? Just being 1% better every day, right? So just translating that to a more specific thing, which is money, right? Like just personal finance, kind of like having, a more financially independent kind of goal towards not only like the jobs that we do, but all the other things that kind of, you know, things and hustles, like you said, that we try to aim for, and our goal is every single day see if we can be 1% richer, right? And
Right, yeah.
that compounds, right? And at some point that's gonna matter. So
Yeah, and so like you said, we're going to be learning because obviously we have some experience in which we're talking about today, what our experience is, what we've done, things we plan to do. But like with you guys, we're going to be discovering new things, trying to figure out, okay, is this something worth our time? Is it worth maybe potentially investing money in? And we're going to kind of learn together. Obviously, I think a big thing that we plan to do with this podcast is talk to others, learn from them, talk about things in the news, and see how we can take that information, take that knowledge, and obviously increase our bank accounts. There'll be a couple of things that we want to try, but if you guys have anything that you found success in, let us know in the comments for sure. But I think today what we're going to talk about is, okay, who we are, obviously, so you guys know who we are, things we've done, and then things that we want to do, like what's our goals for the next year, next
Right.
couple of years, and then kind of explain about some of the future episodes we want to do. We definitely want to do some live interviews with people. We definitely want to talk about some of the things that we want to do in the short term, like this is what we plan to do this year in terms of side hustles, and then where we kind of want to be, couple of years from now. So it's definitely going to be exciting. We're going to be taking this journey along with you guys, and we do appreciate all the feedback you guys have. Again, we're learning, hoping to make money. You can never make enough money. That's kind of the idea. You could always go, we don't really have, I mean, you might have a goal in terms of like total money you want to reach, but the idea is like every day we
Right.
want to do small things so that our overall income and our net worth keeps increasing every day.
Right. And I think that's something we plan to talk about towards in the end, like, goals, right? Short-term goals, at least giving us our intro, and then, what a long-term goal is and what maybe is enough, right? Like, it's probably something like you can do every day and keep growing, but, at some point, it's like, it's not probably like you want to just, okay, I don't need to like hustle as much anymore or work as much. Like, this is enough. And enough for me to last, I don't know, generations, or just, depends. People might just like,
Right.
I don't care about my offspring, something, just me. But some people will be like, I want this to be, generations of wealth or stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to talk about that. I don't know about in this episode, but definitely a future episode about passive income. Obviously, that's what we want, but we're always willing to spend X amount of hours of our week if it makes sense, and we're going to be obviously generating a good amount of money or building on something. So that's the kind of idea that we're going to be doing today. I think we should start off by talking about who we are and what we plan to do for the future. I guess I could go first. I could talk a little bit about myself. My name is Brent. I do have a regular job. I do work at Google. I do make, a range of money, 200 to 300,000 a year. I promised I would talk about my specifics of my job in a future video, but I have been there almost 9 years now, and I am pretty happy with my current situation there. It does give me time to focus on other things, which is obviously really important to me, obviously family and doing stuff on the side, which I'll talk about. I also do YouTube. I have a couple of YouTube channels. A couple is probably an understatement. I have a a whole wide range of different YouTube channels in different niches, and I generate anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000 a month from that. So I am always looking. I'm always in the content creation business. I think that's probably where I'm always going to be. I think when we think about like passive income and non-passive income, active income, it's like I'm definitely making money from ads, but I'm definitely doing other things that I'm willing to do. I'm willing to create videos like what we're doing today in order to grow a specific channel or brand. I've done stuff in the past in terms of like things like I've obviously done investments, stocks, crypto, etc. One of my main channels is a crypto channel. So I do think that obviously that's something that I'm always interested in, always finding ways that, hey, if there's something, especially a new market that is interested in investing in, I'm going to spend some of my time and money shifting my funds from my regular job into some of these assets. And I've also done different things in the past, which I've explored. I've created a board game to see if that was lucrative. I've done a couple of other things. We made mobile apps. We made websites. We've literally tried a lot of things, and I think that has kind of like helped with our knowledge. I guess it's helped with two things: helped with our knowledge to figure out what works and what doesn't, but also helps us figure out like what do we like at the end of the day. And I think for me, content creation has always been one of my favorite things. Kind of creating content, videos, posts, and seeing the feedback from you guys. So I think that's kind of one of the reasons we wanted to create this channel, was kind of an avenue to talk about how what we've done in the past, what works for us, and kind of share our experiences that hopefully help you guys as well. So again, like I said, I'll go into each one of these things in future videos. We'll definitely have to do videos on crypto and stocks and YouTube automation, how to set up channels, what are great niches to join, etc. But generally, those are all things I'm interested in. And before I pass it off to you, Dom, one thing that I did want to say is I think as you're learning to make money out there in general, definitely try a lot of stuff. I don't want to say I've tried everything. But I do think try to do as much stuff as possible. You'll definitely find something. Well, you'll probably stick with something that's generating the most money. But I think at the end of the day, think about where you want to be. Think about, what do you plan to do? What is scalable for you to do in the next 5, 10, 20 years? And if it makes sense for you. So, like I said, I enjoy making YouTube videos, and I will continue to do that for the long run. So, Dom, maybe you talk a little bit about your background, and maybe talk about some of the stuff that you've done, and then we'll jump into where we plan to be in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So for me, again, I'm Dom. I earn $0, but that's because I've been taking a break for the past year in terms of an actual career, in terms of active income. But before I worked at Facebook and Roblox. In terms of salary range, I was in Facebook around 350,000 in terms of total compensation a year. Then now I'm actually just gonna get back into software engineering and a full-time job, and I'm gonna be taking a pay cut. It's around 170, but I'm joining a startup, so hopefully the equity there will help much later on. It's kind of like how I got started anyway in investing, because my other company Roblox, some people might know they went public, and so I got a good upside from that, from working there early, and was there for about 4 years. So that's in terms of my active job. Other things that I've been doing is real estate investing. I do out of state and out of country investments. I just started in the past year and a half. I have, places in North Carolina, and then short-term rentals out in the Philippines. Since that's where I grew up, and it's a place that I'm still able to kind of familiar with me, and so doing business there is something that is not so difficult. Plus, I have some family and relatives there. And then other investment stocks, of course. I got some good amount of capital invested in stocks, and that pays dividends, and so that's great. And then I also do some kind of mentoring on the side, and this one I did maybe just last year around 40 hours. So it's not a lot, but that translates to a couple $1,000s, right? So it's still something. And then I've been trying to get into content creation, so that's why I'm doing this as well. I have a channel that I'm trying to grow related to coding. So and also I made like a Udemy course, so a way to kind of get more, put a lot of effort in the beginning, and then see if that can be more passive later on, right? So that's me. That's my background.
Yeah.
And that's
So
what stuff. Yeah.
what I think is good, like what I was mentioning earlier, is as you can see that we do a lot of different things, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. You don't want to just stick to one thing and hope. Like if for some reason you just stick to investing, but if the market's down, then that's not gonna be too great. If you stick to real estate, obviously real estate's good, but maybe it's not always good. So the idea is like you spread it out and then see where it goes. Again, then you'll see where your real passions are, and then you're gonna stick with that as well. And I think what we plan to do, we've probably listed, I don't know, 3 to 5 things that we invest in and we do that generates money, but in the next coming maybe year and or so, we want to increase that to maybe like 10 things or 20 things. I don't know if there's 20 things, but we're looking to find out some things that we didn't list that we're interested in doing before we jump into some of our like overarching goals. Is we haven't done like drop shipping. Something is we want to explore. We want to create maybe just physical products to sell and things like that. I've done some. I've created a board game and have done things like that, but other products that are useful, actual products and things like that. But those are all things that we want to explore as well. You talked about you doing a course. There's definitely ways that we want to mentor and work with people in order to expand on that in several different ways. So again, like I said, we're looking for always more ways out there, because these 3 or 5 things that we generate money for us now could be potentially completely different in 5-10 years from now. Maybe there's an AI something that's generating us more money, or we're just super interested in. So that's definitely
Or it's
something.
also in a way kind of like the things that are existing already that's working for us, right? Like how can we even like 5x or 10x what we get from that, right? So it's not just kind of volume in terms of different things to do, but also like how can we maximize everything that we're doing at the same time, without trying to burn ourselves out. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I think with like a YouTube channel specifically. It's like even if you have one YouTube channel that's super successful, it's like, well, I'm going to start 2 or 3 other ones and just kind of like grow them really small and then see where they are. Maybe they're not doing 3 now, but maybe in 5 years that'll be a different story. So speaking of that, and I kind of allude to talking about the future and things like that. Let's talk about this year. Obviously, it's February 2023. Let's just say February's done. We have about 10 months left in the year. What are we planning to do? Obviously, I'll just shout out our goal. We definitely have our own individual goals.
Right.
I know we're growing all those things, but one of the main goals I would hope that we're trying to do this year is obviously grow this channel. This is going to be our first video that we ever post. We're going to post more videos and shorts, expand our brand. Not only YouTube, but Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and whatever social network comes. But that's definitely going to be a goal, is to get more videos out, start this channel, do education about things that we're doing, education about what others are doing, and then kind of hopefully have some great success stories. So, Dom, is there any other goals? Yeah, specifically could be 1% richer, or your personal goals, or it could just be anything in general.
I could start. It's like we talked about kind of, okay, we have 10 months left of this year. What are my short-term goals? So I'll go with like individual ones. First, like I said, I'm just starting a new job, right? So that's one of the goals I had this year, was because I took a whole break last year, and then I wanted to get back, right? I'm ready to get back into kind of like having that active income. And so that's one check mark done for me. My next goal personally right now is kind of like twofold. One is we want to relocate, so we want to find a new place. So it's probably not kind of like a financial goal, but maybe it's something that can be turned into that. But find a new place and then sell the current place we have, right? So that's kind of, I guess, the financial aspect. And then once I want to invest, since once we sell our current residence, whatever money we get from that, I want to reinvest that into more real estate. So trying to see if I can at least get one more deal this year into either having a short-term or long-term rental and a shift in like primary residence. And then obviously, like you said, this channel, grow not only this content, this brand that we're doing, but the other channel that I've started, seeing if I can grow that as well. So those are kind of like my short term, year end goal that I'm hoping to achieve.
Those are good goals. Those are good goals. I have not. I don't. Which Dom will always. I don't make fun is not the right word, but I don't have any real estate. It's definitely something that we've always talked about getting into. Obviously investments elsewhere, but I'm definitely, that was one thing. I don't have a goal specifically this year of getting into real estate, but definitely exploring the idea. So that's great that you're looking to add another one. For this channel, let's just call out a goal right now. This will be our first video. It won't post. Let's hope to get 1,000 subscribers by 2024. Yeah. So like within 10 months, hopefully 1,000. That's a good milestone to get.
Right.
Be very happy.
I think it's also realistic, right? That's the one part thing is like if you try to achieve a goal that's like 1 million subscribers, even though it might be possible for like crazy sometimes people, right, do achieve that, but it's like it's like winning the lottery or something, right? So,
right, definitely have to strike some gold and things like that. Yeah, that's why for us we're being very transparent with you, letting you know who we are, what we do, what we plan to do. Hopefully you guys are in similar boats. You have some stuff, and even though we call out some stuff that we're successful in and things that have made us 1% richer, the idea is that we've done a lot of stuff that made us 1% poorer. So some things that we've done that haven't been a success. So we're along for the journey with you guys. We want to hear about things that's worked for you, things that haven't. We're definitely going to highlight that as the episodes go by. But the idea is we're just like you guys. We're in the same spot. Maybe you guys have a lot more success than we are, but we want to share what we know, and then hopefully you guys share that knowledge back, and then talk to other people along the way. And hopefully that's it kind of grows the community. So that's definitely where we want to be. For me personally, definitely want to continue to grow these new YouTube channels. I feel like I'm launching something every couple of months just to see what works. I definitely want to grow some of my main channels. I think that's kind of like my focus, and that's essentially it, kind of. And then maybe explore one or two different avenues in terms of businesses, where I'm always interested in doing something like drop shipping, maybe Amazon affiliate, or potentially just creating up an awesome product and selling it. I don't know what that awesome product is, but the idea is kind of going through that process and seeing if that's successful. So that's kind of like the rough goals. Obviously, we want to, that's the goal this year. I would say, let's say like 5-10 year, let's say 5-year goals. 10 years is a long time. 5 years is obviously do more of what I'm doing now. So just continue to grow the communities that I'm growing. Definitely, obviously continue to find new areas of investment, have hopefully some real estate. But it's just, I don't know, even for me, it's hard. I could throw out a number. Sure, I want to make maybe $10 million more in 5 years. But the idea is that I think we have to think about what is the small things or the things that you can do now, make sure that they continue to grow, and then, worry about all that stuff later on. I don't know unless there was if you had a different opinion.
No. I think that makes sense. I think for me personally, I've always thought that, okay, as I go through kind of like financial journey and things like that, right? I'm always thinking about like, and I think people in general think about, what's enough or something. Maybe people don't care, but people's like kind of like the FIRE movement, right? People have like some targets where it's like, okay, I reached this number, I feel like I'm content or financially independent and stuff like that. So I think for me personally, like my number for that is hitting like an 8-figure net worth. Right, and 8-figure starts at what, like 10 million, right? 6.
Yes. So I was doing that.
Figure net worth,
sounds like a good number.
By 40, right? So in context, I have like maybe 8 years to do that, right? Around 8 years.
Same.
So that's kind of like my long-term goal. And so 8 year being a long-term, obviously, like next 5 years is probably get to like 6 or 7, right? Like really on the way towards that goal. And so for me, that's kind of like a place where, okay, I'm definitely can just like not have an active job, either because I'm owning a business, right? I'm running my own business, could be multiple businesses like we talk about here. But really not having tied to like a 40-hour week job, or I'm my own boss, kind of like deciding kind of like what to do with every single day, right? And kind of like I love traveling, so spending the rest of the time with family and traveling and all that. So
A question for you: do you think so to hit that? You said 10 million, so I'm going to stick with 10 million. Even though I said that too? Do you think of the things that you've listed, like investing, stock, like I guess job or anything like that, even YouTube channel? Do you think one thing will get you there, or that number is so large that you're gonna have to be like, that's two things? Because for me, sometimes I think about like,
right.
okay, maybe that's 10 million is a large number. Is that five things? I don't know. So I'm trying to figure out for myself, like, is it? And I'm trying to think about other people out there. There's definitely people out there that make YouTube channels, or
Right.
are just really killing in stocks that just do it. But for we're still regular Joe Schmoes. Is regular Joe Schmo? Do we gonna need five things? I just kind of like, what is your
I
thinking
mean,
behind that?
honestly, I think it's going to be a combination of luck and skill, right? Like, first of all, like, as we invest, right, we don't know where like right now, the market's kind of, pretty bad, but we know that in general, over time, right, like, market grows and market goes up. So that's why we keep on kind of like, for example, for the passive things, right? So I'm talking about for the passive things, it's like, keep on at like investing in either stocks or real estate and stuff like that. Hitting that is definitely not something that I'm thinking is doable with just one thing, right? Hitting that goal, especially at a timeline of, um, 8 years, unless of course you find like a good business, right? A business that like you can grow, right? And by that I mean like, oh, maybe you end up, I don't know, selling a product, and that product itself can something you can make a business out of, right? Either as a company or grow that, and so that's definitely something that's doable with one thing, I would say. But in terms of our personal stuff, our personal goal, I think things might change obviously in the near future, but right now I'm thinking more of like, I'm not striving for having a big business. I'm just striving for more of, okay, a continuous kind of like a steady growth, right, in terms of the things that I'm doing, that hopefully amounts up to like, you know reaching that goal later on, right? So growth both in like active income, right, and growth in passive income, right? Like kind of keep on investing, right? Whatever the gap is in terms of what I'm earning and what I'm paying for every day that are essentials, right? Like whatever the difference is, keep on like putting that and thinking about how can I make my money work for me, right? So yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I was thinking about when we plan to bring, we have a pretty good network. We hopefully will reach out to a bunch of people. We'll bring people on this show and interview them. And I think one of the main questions that I plan to ask is like, tell us, obviously you're going to talk about how they made money, but I'm more interested in, okay, what are the steps that they took to get there? How do they realize that they need to focus on this? Like, is this just 10th thing you've tried, or was it like literally the first thing you tried? Like kind of the process to getting to where they are and realizing like this is the thing that they need to focus on. Is it just money driven? Is it something else? I think that's one thing. Obviously we want to learn about what they do, not to steal their idea and copy and do the exact that. I mean, but just kind of like,
we want to copy their skills.
Yeah,
though,
exactly,
right?
exactly what you're doing, but better. We're gonna have
Right.
a cooler logo, but the exact same thing. Like trying to figure out, okay, what do they do? How do they know? Like, what are the steps that they take? I think there's definitely things that we've done that got to a certain point and we just simply didn't know how to grow that or whatever. And so we either gave up, sold off, or did whatever to a certain point. And then that's kind of what I want to go. Like, did we take a misstep somewhere and we should have done X, Y, and Z, just should have focused on this? And that's kind of what I want to see. Obviously, we keep talking about a lot of stuff, and I always am talking about doing a lot of things at once, but maybe I should just focus on one thing. But again, these are all things that we plan to explore more in, and I think the more and more people we talk to, the more and more we talk with the community and interview other entrepreneurs or people trying different things, I think the more we'll learn for our own personal stuff. And hopefully all this stuff we'll talk about, be transparent, and share with you guys as much as possible. So again, I think one thing that we wanted to say with our first episode is that if you guys have topics for upcoming episodes, it is a meeting. We're meeting. Let us know what is interesting to you. What is
Right.
maybe you have something specific that you want answered. Maybe you know someone or have done something that you would like to talk about. And again, we're talking about something that was anything that's super successful, something that was horrible and made you almost bankrupt, or somewhere in between. We just want to know things that could potentially make you
Yeah.
guys or us 1% richer. Again, we want to share with you guys as much as possible. So definitely let us know different topics. I think we have a whole slew of topics we want to talk about. I think we definitely want to talk about things like, okay, what are we talk about all these things that you potentially be doing. We're going to be talking about them. I keep
Right.
saying drop shipping. Maybe let's explore drop shipping together and talk about, is this viable, especially in 2023? Or maybe crypto or stocks investment. First of all, we'll talk about how do you even begin be investing in stocks and crypto? Is it viable in 2023? Or maybe 2023 is all about AI. Everyone's been talking about AI and ChatGPT. Maybe that topic should just be, nope, drop everything you're doing, sell all your real estate, and hire a robot to do all the work for you. Whatever that is, we're here to explore it with you. So,
Right. Right.
those are things that we plan to do. Is
Yeah.
there anything else top of mind? I mean, we're definitely going to try to reach out to as much people as possible to
Yeah.
see who's going to talk to us and willing to talk to us and share as much detail. But if there's anything else specifically, yeah.
I think our first few episodes will definitely focus on us in a way of like, I think, I still encounter a lot of people, obviously. For example, for the two of us, we work in tech, right? So what is it like working in tech, right? And how do we make our earning being in tech, right? In the tech industry. So that's something that people might be interested in, and people get into this industry every single day or curious about it. So we can give an insight, right? Given that both our careers have been in there, and so kind of like reaching where we are right now in terms of our careers, what we earn, stuff like that. So I think things that are familiar to us, right, we'll definitely make a lot of content around that, and just that's things we know and things we can share. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to know, because we know people in tech, not us, but make money, lots of good money from the regular jobs that they work, which is awesome. And a lot of people take that money and they either put into savings or buy stuff or go on awesome vacations. That's great. But we also want to know the people out there, what do they do with their money? What do they invest in? What, if they're willing to share that with us, but we definitely are going to ask, what are they investing in? What are they planning to do with it? What is we want to know their goals or things like that, because I definitely know there's a lot of people out there that do a lot of interesting things, and they definitely have aspirations, goals that we have too, and we're eager to learn about that, share with that, and I think that's going to be really exciting for these next couple of episodes, kind of just figuring out what you guys want to hear about and kind of figuring out what makes the most sense. And again, with the overarching goal is learning as much as possible, figuring out what makes sense in terms of investments and time spent. Like for me, it's always about how do I spend my time, the little time that I do have, on side stuff in order to make money for the future, and I want to make sure that I'm spending it in the right way, and we're going to explore all those different things together. So again, I think that's it for today. Again, like we talked about who we are, talked about the goals of this channel, what the main things the channel is about, some of the things you guys should expect coming in the near future. And it was great. We always want to hear from you guys. What would be most interesting to you? And if there's anyone out there that you think would make a great, guest or show or has an interesting story, we're definitely interested to find out. And another thing we're also going to be learning about is stuff that happens in the news. I think there's always interesting stuff.
Right.
I keep mentioning AI. I keep mentioning things that are interesting to us, but definitely want to know what's interesting to you guys and kind of talk about that and provide our insight. I was going to say expert insight, but provide our insight on what we think about that. So those are the things that we plan to talk about on the show, and hopefully hopefully it's useful for you guys, and you guys are able to take this journey with us along the way.
All right, see you guys.
Cool. So thanks everyone. Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This will be our first video, and we'll let you guys know. We plan to do this hopefully 1 or 2 times a week, but hopefully see you guys soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Catch you guys
everyone.
next time.
Next time. Bye.